Horoscope 2020, Scorpio Astrology Predictions. Scorpios can prepare for a strong and rewarding year. This period is marked by the Scorpio Horoscope 2020 as a year when the desired rewards for previous efforts would be acquired. The Scorpio has been trying hard to achieve harmony, peace, and success in his personal life in the last years. For the Scorpio, it can mean success in the form of work, love, but also health. This year, the horoscope for the Scorpio underlines a success distributed in two parts. The first successful moment will be felt by the Scorpio with the onset of the year, thus in the first months of 2020. The following period would be calm, balanced, but perhaps the love life will be a little tense. The second wave of success for the Scorpio would be the second half of the year and the last months, according to the Scorpio Horoscope 2020. The Scorpio Horoscope 2020 refers mostly to the love of the coupled Scorpios but also refers to the progress in the relationship area for the single Scorpios. In love, the year 2020 will be rather spent in a calm atmosphere, though the Scorpio horoscope can gradually remind you when the slight turbulences in love may occur. The single Scorpio can look forward to something new. More about what the single Scorpios can look forward would be said in the part Scorpio Horoscope 2020 for singles. In the year 2020, the Scorpio will enter slightly exhausted, as he passed through a complicated ending of the previous one. The Scorpio Horoscope 2020 also announces that the Scorpio would not lack determination and strength to overcome this difficult entry into the year will enriching experience. Scorpio Horoscope 2020 marks the year as an interesting one. Read further and find out what the horoscope predicts for the Scorpio in the year 2020, regarding the positives, negatives, love, work, money, and health. The Scorpio Horoscope 2020 and its positives. The Scorpio Horoscope 2020 speaks of a lot of positives. Scorpio will surely be pleased by the rewarding of past efforts. The year will be successful for the Scorpio, mostly in terms of work and workflow or financially. At the beginning of the year, the Scorpio will feel tired, but this will not accompany this sign for a long time. The fatigue will disappear at the beginning of February and the Scorpios will be able to devote fully to their career. Thanks to the freshly acquired energy, the Scorpio Horoscope 2020 attributes this period to the happiest ones in Scorpio's entire life. Scorpio will feel so much energy, well-being, and positives, that they won't even believe it. The single Scorpios are determined with the termination of their long-lasting loneliness and finding the fateful half. Most of the Scorpios can be looking forward to an amusing period in their life. A lot of activities would accompany the year 2020 for the Scorpio, and the horoscope is also recommending them working on their partnership relationships and relations in the family. The Scorpio Horoscope 2020 claims that the end of the year would be for most of the Scorpios the best period in their life. The Scorpio Horoscope 2020 and its negatives. The more negative side of the year will be felt by the Scorpio in the partner or family relationships. No need to worry though, the Scorpio horoscope talks only about tensions, not about endings or tragedies. Scorpio will experience a sadder period at the beginning of the first month of 2020. However, they will still feel the exhaustion from the previous year, which would reflect in their psychological discomfort. The horoscope advises them to rest more. The Scorpio Horoscope 2020 attributes January with the most negative influences on the Scorpio's persona. The Scorpio will feel slight instability and turbulence in September and November too. The horoscope addresses the fault in the influences from Mercury on the sign, thanks to what, the Scorpio will feel more irritated. Some of the Scorpios would also feel the need to evoke a conflict. In this period the Scorpio should be careful about the love affairs too, of which the horoscope 2020 especially warns this sign. The love affair that would hover over the Scorpio especially in September, can have a very negative influence on Scorpio's life. The Scorpio Horoscope 2020 warns of some negatives, for which the Scorpio should be ready. Scorpio Love Horoscope 2020. According to the horoscope, the year 2020 will be in the plane of maintaining relationships. The Scorpio Horoscope 2020, however, speaks of disagreements that could permanently affect the Scorpio's relationship. It is essential that Scorpio would avoid certain things that could affect their future. Scorpio's relations during springtime will maintain their usual line. The Scorpio Horoscope 2020 highlights slight quarrels in January when the Scorpio will still have transferred the feeling of discomfort also in the area of relations. In January the Scorpio should rest more, and the horoscope recommends being more dedicated to their better half. In all relations during springtime, the stability would be maintained. Here we are referring to all the relations, love, family or business and at the workplace. Springtime for Scorpio would be very balanced, and the horoscope is predicting a successful period until the autumn months. The mutual trust between the Scorpio and their partners would be disturbed mainly in the autumn months, during which the Scorpio would feel the tension also in the family relations. The Scorpio would be surprised in September when his devotion and loyalty will be put on test. The Scorpio Horoscope 2020 speaks about a meeting during September that will not leave the Scorpios cold. The Scorpio that has a partner is warned about affairs, which would not serve well their relationship, but will also affect their family relations. During the autumn period, the Scorpio will feel the tension in the family and will find an exit in the working overtime. However, the horoscope warns the Scorpio to not close in himself, but to consult the things that bother him with his partner, family, friends. Scorpio during 2020 must remain his true face. The Scorpio Horoscope 2020 will please every Scorpio that likes well-being states. It suggests that the turbulent period will be overcome by the majority of the representatives of the sign, and the end of the year would be the same as the spring months. It should be carried out in harmony, love and strengthening the trust in the relationship. The family relations according to the Scorpio Horoscope 2020 should be dusted off from time to time, and the Scorpio should feel free to give good advices to members of his family. In September the horoscope predicts the greatest pressure on Scorpio's trust and loyalty in himself, but also in the relationship. Feel free visit personality traits for Scorpio as well to know better yourself and your qualities. The Scorpio should be careful in this period and not undercome the animal instinct, which would lead nowhere. The horoscope is strongly claiming that an affair would harm the Scorpio and will have negative implications on the future. In November, the Scorpio will feel the Venus influence on him. Venus will give the Scorpio a sense of beauty, and the Scorpio Horoscope 2020 also talks about significantly enhancing the lasting relationship. Unless the Scorpio manages to do it in September. December is described as a month of cohesion and fulfilled ideas. The Scorpio will feel the safety and comfort that the horoscope brings this year. Thus, the Scorpio can look forward to a peaceful year in terms of love, unless they would be spoiled by their instincts, which they should be careful about in 2020. This is a warning given to Scorpio by the Love Horoscope 2020. Single Scorpio and their predictions for 2020. For the single Scorpio, the horoscope for this year brings extremely joyful news. Most single Scorpios who want to find the right one will end their loneliness in 2020. The second half of the year would bring to the Scorpio the long-awaited change and the love of their dreams. If the Scorpio is serious about it, and want to preserve the relationship, some time must be dedicated to himself. The horoscope advises the Scorpio to show interest in their emotions and learn how to calmly act with others. The Scorpio must also learn how to show the emotions and stop hiding how he feels. If you have a Scorpio around you, who still don't dare to approach the one they like, The horoscope and the year 2020 suggest them to take initiative and terminate the lonely period. It would benefit them a lot, and their new acquaintance will show them a different view of the world and their surroundings. If the single Scorpio finds the courage within himself to act, showing initiatives and learn how to find the inner peace, the horoscope 2020 predicts termination of the solitude and acquisition of a faithful partner. Pisces Work and Money Horoscope 2020. At the beginning of the year, you will feel unrecognized, tired and exhausted from the previous periods and duties. The Scorpio Horoscope 2020 evaluates the year concerning work for Scorpions a success, but only since the beginning of the summer. Since midsummer, the Scorpio Horoscope 2020 has been whispering this sign about an enormous improvement at the workplace and energy that the Scorpio will be able to use in professional life. In the summer, the horoscope 2020 indicates a great increase in the Scorpion's productivity and a positive evaluation of their work by the employer or colleagues. This year, the Scorpio will take responsibility for the actions done, so they will help to settle some of the mistakes they made in their work over the past period. But the leadership will look positively at their initiative and will succeed in their work early in the fall. The Scorpio Horoscope 2020 also suggests the possibility of a career growth that will delight the Scorpio enormously and will give them great confidence. In the second half of the year, the Scorpio will feel a strong focus on work. The Scorpio Horoscope 2020 suggests an increase in responsibility, but also feelings of overworking coming from a high commitment. In this respect, the Scorpio horoscope must draw attention to the need for relaxation and relaxing to a greater extent. Scorpios should focus on active recreation in the second half of the year to feel fresh, and also handle all the tasks ahead of them by the end of the year. Well-being in the form of work balance promises the Scorpio horoscope 2020 at the end of the year, and especially in the last months. The Scorpion will feel the power of the sun, which enters the Scorpio sign, and will have a huge amount of energy to overcome all the tasks he can handle with ease. The Scorpio horoscope 2020 attributes the end of the year to the successful end of the career period and also the energetic entry into the next year. The Scorpio horoscope 2020 also warns all Scorpios not to be subject to aggression and negative mood, especially in September and November, under the influence of Mercury. The horoscope also highlights the need for rest to keep the Scorpio at ease with all the tasks awaiting him from the beginning of summer. During the summer, Scorpio should also invest in a holiday that involves his family, partner, and children. The Scorpio horoscope 2020 is positive for this sign in terms of work, but Scorpions will have to overcome initial problems and fatigue. Scorpio and money in 2020. In early spring, the hard work and energy of the Scorpio will be reflected, bringing them a pleasing financial boost. In the following period, the Scorpio horoscope for 2020 predicts financial stability as well as improving the financial situation. Scorpio will achieve the desired income and will also be able to maintain this income for years to come. That is if they treat this money responsibly. Scorpions may consider a long-term commitment this year, and if some of them are considering buying a property, it is the right time to do so. The Scorpio horoscope 2020 confirms that they will make good financial decisions this year to help them improve their long-term finances. Last year was not as successful as the one Scorpio horoscope says. Scorpio will discover strength, security, and satisfaction financially this year. At the end of the year, they can give their loved ones a nice gift to please them. Scorpio should not forget his family and partner throughout the year. Scorpio health horoscope 2020. Scorpio's health will not change this year much. The Scorpio horoscope 2020 predicts a healthy year that will delight many of them as they avoid unpleasant diseases. Scorpio will be weakened, a little sad and in psychological discomfort, during January. For Scorpio is necessary during this month to focus on the more rest that the Scorpio horoscope for 2020 recommends. The beginning of the year will be difficult for them, but this will gradually improve. Already in the spring month's horoscope gives them more well-being mentally. Exhaustion is away and all they feel is mild spring fatigue. The horoscope, however, points out that they do not lose good habits that they started to develop in the previous period. In summer, there may be a risk of injury, and therefore the Scorpio Horoscope 2020 advises Scorpions to avoid frequent travel or risky hobbies. Some Scorpions also suffer from weakened immunity and others from sunlight. Horoscope strongly advises not to forget to protect yourself from dangerous sun rays. This year's horoscope mainly aimed at Scorpio who have someone older in the family who has been suffering from health complications for a long time. These Scorpio should focus on these older family members and try to help or advise them. If they have solid health, then horoscope promises him solid health for the following period and certainly by the end of the year. In the second half of the year, however, Scorpio should watch out for infectious diseases that someone in the family could bring from abroad. In the months of September to November, the Scorpio Horoscope 2020 is drawing attention to the big exhaustion that comes from the high workload. The horoscope recommends them to devote more time to relaxation and to their family. It will give them energy, strength, and family will help them to improve their physical health. The Scorpio Horoscope 2020 advises them to watch out for the big work exhaustion at the end of the year. If during the year, feels Scorpio that they are at its edge of exhaustion, it is necessary for them to breathe immediately and devote themselves to sufficient relaxation. The Scorpio Horoscope advises doing so despite a lot of work. They shouldn't hurry anywhere. What is important, however, is that Scorpio cares about themselves and takes care of themselves especially at the end of the year. Otherwise, health could be complicated next year for each Scorpio. Horoscope Scorpio 2020 health speaks of a slightly challenging year, which, however, bring an unexpected surprise. Planets and their effects on Scorpio horoscope for 2020. Venus, Mercury, and the Sun will come into Scorpio sign in 2020, and these impacts will be related to their mood swings and attitudes. The Scorpio Horoscope 2020 and its interpretation are largely influenced by planetary influences. If you are born under the sign of a Scorpio, or if you are interested in a Scorpio man or a woman, you also need to know how different planets affect this sign. The Scorpio Horoscope 2020 says these main influences and dates. September 27th, and November 10th 2020, Mercury is entering the Scorpio sign. The Scorpio Horoscope 2020 describes the change in their mood under the influence of Mercury. Mood changes will be noticeable 10 days before and after these dates. Scorpio can expect a more nervous and irritable mood. However, their work will go hand in hand, and Mercury will also affect their work commitment, which will be high. Mercury will also affect some Scorpio decisions and judgments. Scorpio should rather seek advice from others before making a big decision in these days. October 22, 2020, strong Sun enters the Scorpio sign. This effect of the Sun will be felt by all of them 5 days before and after this date. The Sun will have the strongest impact on the energy of Scorpio. Scorpio can finish everything they have put off during the year, under the influence of the Sun. The Sun also affects friendships or strengthened relationships with a partner. November 21, 2020, Scorpio will feel Venus entering to their sign. On this day, the Scorpio Horoscope 2020 describes a 10-day cycle around that date as a time period suitable for love, harmony, and self-care. Scorpio should focus on his partner and himself on this day. This period is also ideal for a joint holiday, or to carry out activities to strengthen relationships. If you liked the horoscope, do not hesitate to visit our website, horoscopedivination.com. On the website you can find more horoscopes, or tarot reading for free, and more. We are looking forward to your visit. Feel free to subscribe our YouTube channel. With love, Horoscope and Divination.